Hello, this is a Seiler baby grand piano, 150 centimetres long, made in 1929. We're really grateful to have got this piano into stock. There aren't many Seilers of this size made apparently. We had a technician from Seiler in yesterday who said that that was the case. I'm not surprised, I've never seen one myself. We have sold longer Seiler baby grand pianos, Seiler grand pianos, but if you look, it's almost totally semicircular. We'll compare that with a slightly longer piano. This is a Bösendorfer 170 grand. You can see it curves in at the side there, as most pianos do. Whereas the Seiler goes like a semicircle all the way. And that's obviously so they can get the bass strings longer. And indeed, it does have a wonderful tone throughout the whole piano. Before we listen to that, just see how beautiful the whole piano is really. If you're in the trade, then Seiler, you'll know, is wonderful maker piano, and there aren't enough of them in the UK. We really try and get as many as we can. Look at the way they put their logo on underneath the string. Uprights have the same type of logo, but you never see it unless you happen to take the front off and start to work on the piano. But beautifully made, no cracks on the soundboard, and the tuning pins are very tight. So as I say, we're really grateful to get this piano. Let's have a listen to the tone of it. In the middle area, slightly echoey at the moment because the bass dampers are not working perfectly. We've done a lot of regulation already, but the damping we've got to do is the last thing. But if you listen to the bass string there, let's compare that with a longer piano. I can't compare with the Bösendorfer at the moment because we're changing the hammers on that piano, so there's no action in it. But this Blüthner here, this is 5'7". Again, it's a wonderful piano. We do try and collect good pianos, obviously. Back to the Seiler. So for a 5-foot piano, they've really, I haven't measured the strings here, but they won't be a lot shorter than the ones on the Blüthner. I have measured them now, and in fact on the on the Seiler they're 116 centimetres long, and on the Blüthner 124. Interestingly enough, the Bösendorfer 170, which is similar length, is also 124. So Seiler's managed to get a wonderful tone out of a slightly shorter string, and that's also going to be to do with the bridge and the soundboard combined. And apparently the technician who came in yesterday said that they shaped the soundboard here so that it's thinner at the edge, which is another reason why they get the power. A remarkable feature on this piano is this Celeste, which I haven't seen this system on any other grand piano, though if you're a technician you can say other makes you might have seen it on. But you can see the Celeste coming up, so listen to the difference. That's without the Celeste, and with the Celeste. And it's a very thick Celeste, and because of that they've made cuts in it so that when you play a note it doesn't make the string next to it sound with the pedal off, otherwise it would. So if you lift the pedal off, if it hadn't got the cuts in, then the next string would probably sound as well as the hammer would push the felt onto those strings. So the cuts are important, but wonderful design again. I meant to show you earlier the pedals, so you can see how beautifully they're designed, the back plate there, and also you can see that there's very little wear on the piano. The right hand pedal doesn't show much more wear than the left hand one, which is very encouraging. Also, it's very encouraging that they've got the wing nut screw here, that the bolt that you use to take the cheeks out, to take the action out, doesn't fall out. I said that is a good sign. A small thing, but showing that they're really trying to look after technicians. So now I've got the action out, we can look at the hammers, and we have refaced them already, but you can see there's nearly 100% of hammer left there. We're having to voice them. There is no looseness here, which is very encouraging, and also there's a lot of the roller's not very indented, so that's very encouraging. We have regulated it, as you can see. We've lifted them up. They were sitting on the rail as you usually find them. That's been regulated, and the tone, we'll say we're voicing a beautiful tone though. By the way, this is a Langer action, not a Renner action. If you're a technician, you'll have come across many Langer actions. They're also extremely well made. Now, before we listen to the piano, I thought you'd be interested, if you're a technician, to see how this Celeste has been fitted. So as we move this lever backwards and forwards, you can see the Celeste comes up. We'll try and have a look inside the piano as well, to get some idea how they fixed it on. So at the lever end, I hope I can video this properly for you to be able to see, but that's the lever moving backwards and forwards. And we'll just look right along. You see the cuts in it, as we were mentioning before, because it's such a thick piece of felt. Just to show you how thick the felt is, and if you can gauge that to anything else, but it's a very thick felt, much more than you get normally on an upright. And here you can see how it's fitted at the other end. So quite a simple system. I'm wondering if it can be retrofitted into grands in general, because obviously a Celeste in a grand, to my mind, is much nicer than having a silent piano. We'll listen to it in a second. I should mention, of course, they had to make a hole in the frame to fit it in, so retrofitting that might be a bit of a worrying task. And in the middle of the frame there, you can see there's also a cut out there on the frame. Here it is on the other side of the break point. So that's a Seiler grand piano made in 1929 and 150 centimetres long, so 4'11" and a half. And as we've tried to show, that it's quite a remarkable piano. The tone of it is, you can't do better than this for that length of piano. It's as good as any Bosendorfer Steinway. Well, Bosendorfer don't do one of this length, neither does Steinway. Steinway's Model S is slightly longer. Bluthner Model 4 is much more common, and we've sold many of those, but this is unique for me. I've never sold any of these before. Sold many Seilers, which are always wonderful pianos, as we've said in other videos. Let's look at the Celeste system as well. So this lever here puts the Celeste on, and then if you're playing, let's hear it without the Celeste. So if you're annoying the whole household with that, you can put the Celeste on, all the neighbours for that matter. And it's a much gentler, softer sound, and of course you can still play it strongly, but you don't get a strong sound out of it. Remarkable. That's with the Celeste, and without the Celeste, so one of the most wonderful 150 centimetre pianos we've ever had. Thank you very much for listening.